Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. I think we are live and welcome everyone who have joined the stream. It's my great pleasure to have a conversation with Baichung Bhutia sir, who is a legend. And actually, I was going to introduce, but there needs to be no introduction. Thank you, sir, for sparing time and coming to this
Well,
show. So first of all, as we were having a talk during the Zoom call, I noticed that there is a picture with Dalai Lama and Pele. So can you share us the story, how you met them and how was it meeting them?
in fact, just behind me, I think you've seen those pictures. For me, I think those two gentlemen are the icons and role models for me. I've been a big follower and believer of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and Pele for me is God. I played football, and for any footballer, the closest thing you could get is to God is Pele. So I've had great opportunity. It's been, I think, a memorable opportunity to meet him and interact with him. So I think two person who I really, from bottom of my heart, I really admire for just not being what they are, but just being a great human being as well, and so simple, very uh, down to earth, and very nice gentleman, and being uh, really icons to the entire world. I think you have only few of them, and these are two people who are real heroes.
Yes, indeed. And actually, I admire His Holiness Dalai Lama a lot. So can you tell us a little bit about the conversation you might have had when you met him and how was it?
No, I think it's always been a dream to meet him, and I got to meet him in Delhi. Also, he had invited me because I had also boycotted carrying Olympic torch when it was held in China. The Olympics were held in China, and the torch had come to India, and I was given the chance to carry the torch, but I boycotted because I do support His Holiness and his cause and his thing. So we had more chats on, obviously, the entire thing. And I'm also a Buddhist, maybe not so good a Buddhist, but just to get his knowledge about Buddhism, how he started, and what kind of you know uh, the kind of work he's doing for his people, especially Tibetan people who are in exile living in India. So mostly on those points.
It's actually an amazing coincidence. Right before the show, I was just doing my Zen meditation, and it's a big part of
Okay.
Buddhism culture. So I think we can connect on that level as well.
Sure. I'll try and take some advice from you on meditation because I've tried quite a lot. I've just not been able to get it, being a Buddhist as well. So yes.
It's very nice of you to even say that. Sir, actually, you had already one session on the Graphy. Your chapter is already
Yes.
live. How was your
Yeah.
experience teaching on Graphy, the first chapter?
It was very, very good. In fact, I did not expect I would be able to speak, for such a long time, which I've never spoken in my life. I've not never spoken to a camera or to myself for more than 5, 10 minutes. But to speak there was quite challenging when I initially read the script and all that. But overall, I think it went well. I hope whoever is listened or watched the episode, I'm sure. I hope you guys like it, and yeah, I'm getting used to it because also not a big social media guy. I come from old generation of people, I guess, who's not so much into it, but I'm getting used to it because now I think we all are realizing that social media is very, very important platform. So yeah, so just getting used to it. But overall, I had fun, and yeah, it was okay.
I can completely relate to what you said because when I had the first Graphy myself, I had to speak for 45 minutes and I had planned, okay, what I'll speak about. And as it happened that within first 30 to 35 minutes I finished everything which I had to say, and then I made a 10-minute summary, which was
Okay.
so
You could have taught 10 minutes of chess, which I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy it.
yes, actually, my chapter was about like my experience as a captain of the team, which
Oh,
recently we had
okay.
Olympiad, and that brings me to my
Yes.
next question. How was it being the captain of Indian team for so many years? What were the challenges you faced, and some of the memorable moments, if you can share, and we can learn a lot from it, I'm sure, from your illustrious career.
I think captaining for India was a big, big honor. And also, I started captaining when when I signed and was playing for a club in England. I signed from 99 to 2002, and I got my first captaincy, first match when Indian team toured to England, and I was already there. So that was my first year and first match as a captain when I was abroad. So when I came back, obviously, I think the expectations yeah, and lot of other issues apart from just football, off the field issues for the players were there, which as a captain I felt I need to take it. And I think Indian football overall was going through a phase of transition phase where it was changing for good. Players were changing the mentality of now trying to be a professional, play full-time football and make a living. So that phase was going on uh, at that moment, and there were a lot of issues between players, clubs, and it football was still semi-professional, and especially for players, they didn't have anybody who could guide them, help them, support them, because 90% of the players, maybe even more than that, footballers in India came from very humble background. So when things were changing, the contract, what are returns in contract, what kind of advice you need to take, financial advice to managing your own, you know, uh, everything from finances to fame to everything. So I think that phase was going on. So that's where I think, with having played in England for 3 4 years, that little experience which I got, we set up a players association to help players on everything. Once we set up the Players Association, we in fact brought in advisors to advise on financial investments. We in fact brought teachers to teach players to speak English, because maybe 60 70% of players do not know what is written in the contract,
Hmm.
and they also because wanted to know English and wanted to speak. So small things we kept doing, and I think uh, that is where, as a captain, I think for me, I felt that through little experience we could help and change a lot of players in terms of their lifestyle to manage, and they're guided in the right direction. So these were things which not me, but through Players Association, which I was also the first president and the founder, and also captain of the national team. We tried, few of us senior players all got together and tried supporting, and brought in changes with the players' mentality, and their way of going forward in football.
Actually, recently in chess scene, there was an online Olympiad where I was part of, and I was also asked to be the captain. And as you said, there were a lot of problems
Mm.
off the, sport, which needed to
Yeah,
be managed. For example, there were some internet issues, electricity issues. Like we didn't have a coach or
yeah,
something like this. So back then, was it
yeah.
like, as you said, semi-professional? So were there issues like not having a proper environment like of a coach, a manager, and like I think nowadays the sport has become so professional. So was there like all the things taken care of, or you had to do everything by yourself?
No, it wasn't. I think the basic thing was the contract issues. A lot of players signed with clubs contract, and the clubs did not fulfill. The players got injured. The clubs did not really treat them. Got their contract cancelled without paying their dues. So these were the basic things, which obviously most of the players were injured, or if they can't perform, the clubs just release them where they had nowhere to go. So I think these were the kind of issues which we raised with the federation. And a lot of times players were just targeted, suspended for no fault of theirs. And that when you have that, the players have nowhere to go before the players associations started, and they could not, and they would go to their friends who are colleagues, but they could not stand up for their friends because they were also depending on club to pay salaries and for their livelihood. So they could not really raise. So it was left to one single player, sometimes injured, can't come back to game ever after. Your salaries are not paid. Things like that. So this is where our players association got in. We hired some nice advisors in terms of lawyers. Then slowly, I think we started getting agents into the game. So now I think most of the players, 99% of footballers in India who are playing professionally, all managed by some agency or some individual agent. So they have people to guide. So those are challenges which where we mostly face during our playing time.
Okay. Good to know that now the sport has become much more professional. I think it must
Yeah.
be because of a lot of your efforts in those years. I think that's why it transitioned. Uh, were there any lessons from your games, some things which really stuck with you, some learnings from the victories and the losses, anything which we can really take with us?
No, I think with the sports, one good thing is you're playing every week, and every match is a new match. So that is what it is, because you played today and you've done really well. That does not count when you're playing next match, because people are going to expect you to again do the same thing. So you're always looking for the future. Whether you have a bad match, you lost badly, but again you've got some next match coming up within a week, so you've got time to really recover and make your losses, or you can, whatever mistakes or whatever losses you've done, you can repair it in the next match. So sports gives you that opportunity,
Mhm.
and also it tells you that whatever you've done today or past is nothing. It's always about future. You've got to perform the same way in the next match. So people only remember you with your last match. So
Mhm.
you can't really relax with if you've done well, or you can't really feel low and feel sad about it if you had a bad match, because there's another match coming. So you're always looking forward to next challenge. And I think that's what it teaches you in life as well. You're always looking forward to it. And now after retirement, I've done few things which I've not done well. I've not succeeded. I've done few things which I've done well. So when you're not doing well now, you always remember the sports part of it, that whatever has happened is past, but you look forward to it. So you're always looking ahead. You're always looking for challenges up front, and that's what, because at the end you want to you want is, I think, to move forward and learn from the mistakes what you've done from bad match in the past, and don't feel that you're top of the mountain and you're king just because you've won the match and scored a goal. You'll have to do it again. So it keeps you grounded that way. So those are, I think, knowledge, way of life. It teaches Sports teaches you way of life, and
True.
football again is a team game. So you win as a team, you lose as a team. So you don't win individually.
Mhm.
It's a complete total game. So it teaches you how to be with the team during the bad times, and it teaches you how to be with the team during good times. So it'll make you a complete team person as well.
True. And whenever I'm playing, I feel like if I lose a game or I have a bad tournament, if I know that there are some couple of tournaments which are lined up in the next month or next week or something like this, I feel hopeful because I have a chance. But
So,
many
yes.
times, many times there is like no tournament after like 3 months. Like there's a big gap, and when you lose, I feel like really bad because there's no time for
Getting
revenge.
back. Yeah, true.
So how did you
So I
handle
think
the
that is
losses?
what.
Sorry.
No, I think what you've got to. I think with time you become more matured, and you experience a lot of losses as well as wins. With time, I think time teaches you, and you just tend to understand that you're not going to win all the time, and you're not going to lose all the time. And that, I think, with experience playing matches, winning, losing, is going to make you more matured, and that's how you could handle it. Because you had a bad game, you lose, you feel bad. I feel bad about it. You have a sleepless night thinking about the last match, important match. You played for 2 months. You've defeated 6 teams, gone to the finals, and lost it in the last 5 minutes. You conceded and lost it. Last 2 months of hard work is all gone. So it happens, and you feel bad about it. But again, as you said, you look forward to it. We've got another tournament next 10 days. So we've got to focus on that now. It's happened. But also at the same time, you can learn from what all mistakes you did, in the past match where you lost. Just learn from there and look forward to it for the new challenge. And, that is what I think with time it teaches you. You'll lose. You'll have great matches. You'll have very, very bad matches. But it's when you have bad matches, it's just that you need to take it in your chin that I had a bad game. Yes, we lost, but work on all the mistakes you've done, and look forward to making it sure that you don't do that same thing and win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Makes makes perfect sense. And one of the things is, let's say when I'm having a tournament which is coming up in few days, or let's say I have a game next day, sometimes there is this fear of things not going well, or especially when the stakes are very high. Uh, you have come a long way and it's the last round, everything depends on it. And in such high pressure situations, how did you tackle such situations? Because I think those are really what differentiates like top athlete from other athletes. And how did you tackle such high pressure situations?
I think that fear coming is a very, very good thing, because if you don't have a fear, which is a very high pressure match, the most important match of your life, and you're just relaxed and you're not feeling that pressure and you've got no fear, then I think somewhere there's something definitely wrong. Yes, I think any matches, especially your finals you're playing, or there's such important match tomorrow, that pressure and the fear is bound to come. But at the end, I think you need to try and start taking the fear, but also think in a positive way, that what are your qualities. Like in football, I always think about what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
what my team can do. A lot of positive things, how we can play, the kind of the players I have, what the player individually, what is my strength. So I try and focus on that. And obviously, yes, you need to focus on opponents as well, because football at the end is technically what they do: set balls, dead balls, situation, the corners, free kick, how they take that. Also, obviously, it's a job of the coach, which he's going to do it. But as individually, I think try and take a lot of positive from your quality, your game, and also from the team, and think more positive.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I think all that is going to go. Once you enter the ground, then
Yeah.
your only thing is to give 110% and come out. Whatever you've trained technically with the coach, that you need to keep that discipline. But make sure when you come out of 90 minutes, you must feel that you've given your 100%. Results, obviously, with that, sometimes you come out as a winner, sometimes you come out losing the match, but you need to feel that you've given everything what you had.
That's very true. And it also sometimes it happens very rarely, because I'm the kind of person who feels that I could have done better always. So I keep pushing myself for every tournament, that okay, I could have done better. But when I'm playing, of course, it's the complete focus. But the preparation part, I feel always that I could have done better at home. So talking about that, how was your preparation routine? I think I saw some of your Instagram videos recently, and you emphasized a lot on the fitness aspect. So, what did you do for physical fitness and then the mental fitness as well?
So I think once you're an athlete and sports person, and especially if you're playing football, your fitness is the most important thing, because it's a very, very physical contact sport, and physically, I think you need to be in your top fitness. Mentally, obviously, it's important, because at the end, football or any other sports is played through your mind and through your head. So mentally, I think it was always important, as I said, to have little pressure and fear to always come in. But always, it's all about thinking about your own strength, and your team's strength is what is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, football is also, because it's a completely tactical thing with the teamwork. So you have to make sure that the training grounds you're working before the matches are, you're training. Obviously you can't train, but your coaches are going to make you train in certain team ways, certain tactical decisions are made. So that has to be properly trained. And when you go on to the match, those discipline, tactically what you've trained throughout the days for a match has to be kept. And as a captain, I think that's where inside the ground you can't have quotes coming in and you can't hear it because you've got a packed stadium, a lot of sound. But as a captain, you know that what you've trained, and during the match I think that's where you need to give players and tell them that these are the things which we need to keep our shape, maintain our position. So those are small things you need to keep reminding the players if they're not doing it right, what you've trained. So but thinking just positive about yourself and team is very important.
Mm-hmm. I see, like you put a lot of emphasis on being positive, and one of the things which you mentioned is focusing on the strengths and look at the good side of you. I think that also gives a lot of confidence when, because whenever there's self-doubt, you always think, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at, let's say, X or Y things. But when we look at the strengths, we also realize, okay, I can do much more, and if I can push myself. Uh, and one of the things which you mentioned was physical fitness, and as a physical sport, injuries, especially in football, are a big part of it. Did you go through any of such processes where there was injuries? And I think it's very tough, right? When you have injuries and you have to come back.
Yeah, it is. And football anyway is a body contact sport, and my playing style was more aggressive and more getting into those uh, difficult tackles. I had 7 to 8 operations in my knee, my 3 operations in my left and 4 on my right knee. So
Wow.
I've had 7, 8 months of completely out of football because of injury. So that's part of your sporting career, because injuries are bound to come in, especially if you're playing football. And so I think it's just that when you're injured, the most important thing is get the right treatment, right people to help you. Your recovery and your getting back to fitness is, I think, the key time and key process. How you come. So in India, I think one of the biggest challenges, obviously for a sports person, especially with sports like football or maybe hockey or other sports, I think coming back process, we still don't have proper sports medicine here
Mm-hmm.
in India. And having this, I'm saying it because I've experienced. I played in England 3 years. I've had injuries there. I've also had operations there and sat out for 6, 7 months. I think just that sports recovery period, sports medicine is a very, very key factor. We've got great doctors, great surgeons here in India. They'll operate it in some of the best doctors we have here. They'll operate it in the best way. But it's just not the operations what you go through. It's that recovery period when you come back, what kind of exercise you do, what strength, what muscles you need to work on, how does fitness trainer or a physio who's trained into sports or football get you back into playing football?
Mm-hmm.
How much can you push you from day one of operation till 6, 7 months of recovery? So
Mm-hmm.
those factors are, I think, something which in India we're lacking big time. We've got great doctors that will operate you, but we need people who can really know the kind of sports recovery experts who can really guide you to bring you and get your muscles, everything toned, so that you're coming back fully prepared and trained. And I've come back in India, I've had operations, I've come back rushing because I wanted to play and with no proper physios. Obviously, there were physios, but they also did not have lacked that knowledge of uh, completely footballers,
Mm-hmm.
muscle to kind of style of play. And I've rushed back playing, coming early, and I've injured and again went back for a longer period. So that I've experienced as well. So yeah, but
Even now?
important thing is now I think things have improved quite a lot in India. So injuries are bound to happen. Just stay positive. Make sure what obviously you as a player you want to return and do much better. But to do that, you need to have a proper people to support, guide you, and take that proper recovery. So don't also rush to come back because you want to play and start scoring goals. But you need to get the right recovery and stay. As I said again, once you get that, you stay positive. When you come to the ground, you need to feel you're 100% fit, and with the kind of talent and hard work, you're bound to do well. But make sure you don't rush early from injury.
Mhm. I think when you're describing this entire story, I remembered I saw one documentary about Manchester City. I think it was on Amazon, All or Nothing. And when I saw how the players were treated there, everything was taken care of. They had like all conditioning coaches, physios, and completely professional setting. I was amazed to see that. So,
Mhm.
do you think now in India we are getting there, or like? It's still a far away. Like, what is your vision? Like, where do you want to see the
we
Indian
are
football?
we we are nowhere near to Manchester City's kind of infrastructure and facility for sure, but I think the clubs are starting to really slowly push it, and now you have every club who are the clubs that are playing in ISL and I League has their own doctors and physios, which is a good sign. But it will definitely take time. But hopefully, I think I definitely want to see Indian football, the national team, or the clubs in India to reach the kind of level where Man City and all have reached. So that is when I think we've really reached where Indian football has really reached, and that's when I will one day when we start getting that kind of
Facilities.
facilities. And at the same time, also to get that facilities, you need to start performing like Man City as well. Start winning, start delivering results. Then only I
True,
think the rest will follow.
true. And talking about clubs and teams, which is your favorite team?
My favorite team, I've always been a East Bengal boy. I played for Mohun Bagan as well. I've really enjoyed playing for Mohun Bagan too. Um, yeah, and European football I do follow a bit because Arsenal is a team I follow because of Dennis Bergkamp, those era which had some great players. So yeah, right now I own my own football club. That's United Sikkim Football Club, which is a semi-pro. We went on to play the highest league in India, which was the I League then,
Hmm.
and we are also trying to get back. To get United Sikkim to back to his glory days, and hopefully in few years qualify from I League to ISL and bring ISL to Sikkim. That is what we are hoping.
I'm sure, I mean, with your support and your backing, it's just a matter of time. Uh, Talking about that, your name is Sikkimese Sniper. Like, how did this happen? Like, who termed it, and what's the story behind it?
I think all these names you'll only get it through media because it's something that reads well. It sounds well. So media does give you all the names, but it was basically I was a striker and I scored goals. So the
Mhm.
sniper,
Okay.
Sikkim sniper came in there. So it's all the media created names.
True. And I also remember one story which was told that when you were the captain of the team, you played against Turkmenistan, if I'm not wrong, and it was the
Yeah.
Asian Cup, and
Yes.
with your leadership, India won the gold medal after years. Like there was a big gap between that, and that was like a historic moment.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, could you share some
Yeah,
details
no,
about
I
that?
think you're right. So it was for us. I think it was very important match because it was the finals against Turkmenistan. But more than the finals, it was also a qualifying spot for Asia Cup. And Asia Cup is the biggest tournament any footballers in Asia can play. Not even Olympics. For us, it's the World Cup and then Asia Cup,
Mm-hmm.
and India had not played Asia Cup for more than 24, 26 years. So beating Turkmenistan and winning AFC Challengers Cup gave us an entry into Asia Cup, which was after 24, I think, years. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the biggest achievement as a captain because as a player you always want to play is Asia Cup and Olympics because Asia Cup and World Cup. Olympics also is only played by under 23 for football. Only
Mm-hmm.
3 players over 23 can play it. So even Olympics for footballers is not looked as a tournament where they want to play. Given a
Mm-hmm.
chance, they would play either European Cup or World Cup. In Asia, if you're in Asia, Asia Cup or World Cup, or if you're in Africa, African Cup or World Cup. So
Mm-hmm.
these two tournaments are the biggest for footballers in Asia and India.
Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm like we had a similar incident in chess. Like always, China used to win the gold medal, and after 6 or 10 years, somewhere in Iran, we finally defeated China and we won the gold medal. So it felt really good, like to start a new trend. I can imagine the
True,
sentiments
true.
must have been the same back then.
Yes.
And so, talking about this graphy, what are all the things which you'll be discussing in the future chapters, and when are those happening?
I think the next is going to happen soon. Most probably 18th of Jan
Mm-hmm.
is what, if I'm not mistaken.
1 p.m. I
I
think.
think there we're trying to discuss. I don't know what topics, but I think how to prepare for matches, how to motivate, how to have that winning mentality. I think these are few things which you're supposed to discuss.
I'll just quickly share the trailer which is prepared, and I'll just show the audience what is it's going to be about. I
All
don't
right.
think you will be able to see it, but I'll just show it to the
No,
audience
but
very quickly.
please, 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 please.
That's what my parents said when I told them I'm going to quit school to become a footballer. I was just 16 and I got an offer to play for East Bengal club. And my parents were not too keen for me to leave studies and pursue football. I think I've done fine. What I want you to understand is that we all face obstacles in life. To be a winner, you have to do what others want. Don't take no for an answer. In this graphy, I want to tell you about the passion, the dedication, the mental and physical discipline required to be a top athlete. Getting to the top does not make you great. Staying there and performing consistently does. That's the mindset of the serial winner. Hi, I'm Baichung Bhutia. I want you to join me live on my Graphy No Can't Do. If you want to know what it takes to become an elite competitor in sports or in life, subscribe to my Graphy live on 9 January 2021. I'll see you at kickoff.
That's an amazing trailer. Guys, please check it out. The next episode is on 18 Jan at 1 p.m. and I'm sure we can learn a lot from the experiences and wisdom. So coming back, I have many questions, but I'll limit to only few. I think, if I'm not wrong, there was under 17 World Cup happened in India in 2 years ago.
First time.
Yeah, for the first
Yes,
time. And I think so that women's under 17 World Cup
it's going
is
to
also.
happen.
What are your thoughts about the women football in general and these events which happened in India?
No, I think for us, the best thing that happened to Indian football was under 17 World Cup because we don't really try and focus so much on grassroots sports, be it cricket, football, or hockey as well. So under 17 World Cup for boys was very, very important because that really focused on the age group, and that also got the government and the federation spend a lot in terms of scouting and promoting grassroots football. And I think it was very, very important and necessary, and that's how I think grassroots football in India has picked up so much is also due to under 17 World Cup for boys. And I think same thing, that's what is going to happen for girls because it's going to happen. It was supposed to happen in, I think, 2020 or 2020 or 2021, but
Mm-hmm.
because of pandemic, it got postponed. So maybe this year 21 it might happen, or maybe 22. So it's going to promote a lot of football, especially for girls in grassroots level, because under 17 means you're focusing, players below age 15, 16, 17. And that's where I think we need to invest more because, we can't play World Cup because the quality which we have, I don't see us playing for next another 4 or 5 years or maybe even longer. But if we start focusing with the grassroots, then these kids are going to be the future for us. And that's where I think it's going to help. And girls football, women's football in India is doing much better. And it's just that we need to push and promote more than what we've been doing.
And I think you also have a football school, BBFS, if I'm not wrong,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
doing some amazing work. Could you tell us about it because you're so heavily involved in it, nurturing the grassroots?
yes. Yes, so I started BVFS, I think 2010, and the idea was obviously to promote and focus a lot on grassroots football because I've had that experience of being a footballer, professional player, and I had seen what grassroots football was all about during my growing up days. So it was important that we give a platform to a lot of footballers who wants to become professional and go on to play for India. But there was nothing as such. So that's how, before, in fact, All India Football Federation, anybody started doing grassroots. We started doing grassroots in 2009-10 itself. And we've been very lucky in terms of, scouting players. We have more than, I think, 4,000-5,000 kids across India training every day with us. We've had 6 players that went on to play for India in different age groups. We've got at least 16 to 20 players are playing in I-League and ISL from BVFS. So it's been good. We are one of the biggest grassroots football program in India today. And the main thing was to give the talented players or players who's got a dream to become professional and play for India, that platform to come and play and compete and get trained with some of the best coaches. And that's what we've been doing. So yeah, it's been great so far. So hopefully we can do much more than what actually we've been doing.
That's amazing, and I'm sure it'll happen because I saw when you're even speaking about it, you're smiling all along. So I'm sure it's very close to your heart.
Yes.
And I've asked a lot about training so far, about the matches, but I had some fun questions as well, which I wanted to ask. So, from playing for the team, you had like you're playing against so many top leagues. Um, you also did a dance show, Jhalak Dikhla Ja. How was the
Yes.
how was that experience?
No, the experience was very, very challenging, very, very difficult for a person who's never danced in life. I had to dance in front of entire nation in national television. So, uh, and I'm not a very open person. I'm quite a shy person. So, to dance in front of audience, judges, and the nation was challenging. But I did enjoy it. But I don't know if I can do that ever again. It was a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but yeah, I just got to know that it's not my type of thing which I want to do it.
It does take a lot of guts to go out of your comfort zone and try something new, and I think it also
Yes.
shows the fun side of the sports people. Um,
Yeah.
and I had I had one question, like, did you ever get cold feet before going into match? Like, there was a match in Kolkata, yeah, the Derby, and you played against like 1 lakh people. Uh,
Yeah.
how was that? Did you ever get the cold feet before such important matches?
No, I think the more the crowd, I think I've always performed, and the big matches is something which I always look forward to it. Though there was more pressure, there's more. Used to get more scared before the matches, before the night. But I've always been able to perform, and it brings out more energy. It brings out more. I think that. Winning or killing instinct in you, and it makes you more aggressive as a player, and
I now feel
that's where I think the performance comes out. Yeah.
No, now I feel like after listening to your answers that you never were nervous. Like, you were always very confident
No,
and
no, no. There was nervous for sure, but I think more than nervous, it brought more. It made me more aggressive when
Mm-hmm.
people were there and to play, and for me it was very very important for every match to be that kind of high voltage, high pressure match where I'm more aggressive. More aggressive I am, I think I tend to play better.
Mm-hmm.
More the match which is I know the defender, I'm talking to him. It's then more relaxed than I've not been able to perform. So for me, I like defenders, fighting and
Challenge you. Mm-hmm.
challenging me, and that brings in, I think, much more better performance, and that's what I've seen, and that's the result that everybody can see. When I've been aggressive, I think I've been able to perform well.
That's great to know. I think you looked at everything as a challenge, and all these challenges motivated you further to give your best. Uh, that's
Mm.
that's the takeaway for me. And I had one question about the future. Like, who do you think could be the India's next big player? Also on an international level, who would be one? And in India, who has the potential?
Now, future, I think it's very difficult to name any player because right now there are a lot of tournaments happening. ISL, I leagues are happening. We've not been able to see young talent that's making headline, that's making news headline.
Mhm.
There's no sensational player that's is been everybody's talk. So I can't really see anybody as such. We had Sunil Chhetri. He's obviously now 36. He's going to retire in 1 or 2 years, and there's going to be a huge gap after him.
Mhm.
So it's been very unfortunate that we've not had youngsters that's making headlines right now, and which we should be
Mhm.
if we want to really see Indian football go forward and make big impact in world football or even in Asia football. So that way, I think we're yet to see. But at the end, I'm hoping that despite all that as well as a team, if they can perform without having top level names, you have teams that have gone on to win World Cups, that have gone on to win big tournaments. So let's see how it goes.
And on an international scene, any player which really amazes you right now?
Internet, I think big names that's always been Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. These are players that's always inspired and have always performed. So that I think is there.
Mhm.
So yeah, these players.
And talking about like this elite or like let's say the best players like Messi, Ronaldo, did you ever have a fanboy moment ever in your career when you're
I,
playing?
I I did because I went and played some charity matches with world stars. I had a great fanboy moment with Zinedine Zidane when we were playing together. I was sharing dressing room with Kaká, Thierry Henry, and more than that, I was also sharing a dressing room. And just beside me was Michael Schumacher, the F1
Oh,
driver, who was also playing that exhibition match. So it was this fanboy moment was sitting beside everyone in the same changing room and looking here and there, and you see all iconic players, the faces around. So that was
when
big
was
fanboy moment for
when
me.
was this?
This was, I think, when I played one charity match, Goal for Africa, which was before the World Cup that happened in Africa for Nelson Mandela Foundation, and one was, I think, for United Nations, something like that, for Zidane and Figo thing. So I don't know exact year because I think I'm growing old, so I
It
can't
doesn't seem
remember
like it though. Um,
the.
so I think we are closing to the end of the session. So anything, so you would like to talk about the Graphy and tell the audience? We have around 500 people watching. Um,
Uh, I think please download and watch my episode. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'll try and give my best and make sure it's good. But apart from that, I think it's been fun. I've not done something like that, but it's always good to experiment and experience new challenges and new things. And I hope my first Graphy was okay, and you hope you liked it. And hopefully next few ones hope can motivate you, can I hope it makes little sense in whatever way in you and your friends or your son or daughter who are going to play football makes sense to them, and sense to I think everyone who's listening as well. So I hope you
I'm
enjoy,
sh-
watch, and download the app.
I'm sure they must have really like enjoyed this session. I think we had a constant watching of about 400 to 500 people who were there, and I see a lot of people who are a fan of you, and definitely they would enjoy learning. Um, and all the best, sir, for the sessions. And I'll
Thank
just
you.
remind everyone, it's the next session is on 18th January 1 p.m. So check it out. The link is there in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
experiences.
you.
I had a lot of
Thank you,
fun
Vidit. Thank
learning.
you. Thank you
And
so much.
hopefully, I'll apply some of the techniques which you have mentioned in my career.
All right. Okay. All the best to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
joining
you.
in. Bye bye.
Thank you.